Hello and welcome to another Whiskey review with me, the Whiskey Novice. Thank you for joining me. It's review number 164. We're starting another new series. It's time to start back and go and look for more peat, in my opinion. It's been a couple of years and I just thought we'd do another series. Oh, for the love of peat. And let's face it, it's 4 or 5 weeks for those peat freaks, for those smoke heads, for those bonfire botherers, whatever you want to call them. So, and we're going to start with this one, Caol Ila 18 from Islay. What can I tell you about this bottle? Well, the first thing I'm going to tell you about this bottle is it was actually gifted to me by my good friend Bud Jenkins there in the Pacific Northwest of America. So thank you very much, Bud. That was very much appreciated. That was a while back. As you can see, this one's had a bit of bothering done to it. So Caol Ila 18, Diageo, 43%, chill filtered, colour added, 18 years old. There's the details. What do I think? This takes me back already. This is one of those, I think, great whiskies that just takes me back to my early days of drinking peated whiskies and getting used to them and just becoming acclimated to that strange thing, which technically I suppose it is. I can't think of any other beverage in the world that tastes or smells or acts like a peated smoky whiskey. And this, as I said, just takes me back to those early days. It's got that lovely, well, I'll tell you what's lovely about it as I go along. Gentle orange and lemon citrus. That smoke, that peat smoke is there, but for me in this it almost identifies as rock pools and seashells. It's almost more briny than it is smoky. There's wintergreen, there's mint at play here, very definitely. Everything's subtle but balanced. That 18 years here is making this, I'm going to say gentle, but I think really what it's making it is experienced. That 18 years in ex-bourbon casks, I would suggest even at some point it's maybe been hogsheads have been, because, and maybe even slightly used hogsheads, because it's so gentle. There's not, in my opinion, there's not an awful lot of wood influence on this. For 18 years old, generally when you start to lose that phenolic thing, I've said before that younger, and I think most of us know that younger peated whiskies tend to hold that phenolic flavour, those phenolic notes, better than giving them a lengthy maturation. But what happens is then, when you get over time, if you start to use less active casks, then obviously the wood effect turns down. The phenolic notes hang around a bit more, I feel. Yeah, and there's even, the wood has had its effect over time, leaving light vanillas and even creme caramel. But they're more suggestions than strong notes. As I said a moment ago, just really well balanced and experienced. Beautifully delicate, sweet and sour arrival. Coats incredibly well and just lingers beautifully on the palate. All of that creme caramel, all of that vanilla, all of the orange, all of the citrus, still there. The smokiness is less saline now and more about almost bitter burnt ends. smokiness again. So you start to get those barbecue notes. If it is still slightly saline, it's more mineral. All of those notes, all of those citrus notes, you get lemon, you get lime, you get orange, still there, still well playing through it. But it's the balance in this that just makes it. It just, no one thing wants to stand out. It's the experience of the whiskey itself. It's the experience of the blender has just made this a great whiskey. I said about the bitter burnt ends, they lead into a finish which is slightly smoky, still citrusy, hints of chocolate, even hints of raisin, and just a lovely, not too hot, chili lime heat right at the very end. Still even that wintergreen and mintiness hanging about in the finish as well. Going to add a little water, just 1, 2, 3, 4, well, there's sort of about half a dozen drops there is all it needs. 43%. You wouldn't want to overdo it. It can take water, but just if it were me, I wouldn't go daft on it. Price wise, while I'm letting this sell, I still think this comes in around the £90 mark, which for an 18-year-old is incredible. That's an incredible price. Will it stay there? Probably not. Diageo have done a little price adjusting recently, and anything of age, even those that aren't that old, just seem to be going up and up in price. So I am seeing this around the £90 to £100 mark at the moment. I don't think it'll stay there. I really don't. More fruity, more chocolatey, toasted almonds, and rich toffee. I said about the casks not having much effect, really. They're not, I mean, bourbon casks, if this was a short maturation and very active casks, I think the smokiness, etc., would have been turned down a bit, and the caramel, vanilla, toffee notes would have come up. But they just blend beautifully through. Can't say enough. Balance, experience. That touch of water, just rounding it out. That touch of chili heat, sort of chili lime heat that I said in the finish, toning away because of the touch of water. It doesn't lose anything on flavour whatsoever. The flavour, every flavour's still there. Something I will say about this season, this series, if you want to call it that way. As I said, 4 or 5, however many Wednesdays there are in this month. You'll not find too many complaints from me. I still love my peated whiskies. And we're into that time of year where I love them even more. It is just coming into the autumnal months. It's autumn, leading into winter. I like a heavier beer, a porter or something like that. And I like my peated whiskey this time of year. Problem being, Northern Ireland, this sort of runs on for the next 6 months now. So this is when my peated whiskies get a punishing. So yeah, can't thank God enough for this gift. Lovely whiskey. It really is. If you're seeing it at that price, £90 to £100, pick one up. Because I guarantee you, it's not going to stay like that. It's not. Good stuff. Let's just leave it at that. Slightly longer into that finish, blackcurrant and aniseed. Which is just another level added up. So yes, I liked it. What would I recommend to you? Well, it had to be something else for me that was subtle. I say subtle, something that was balanced. So I'm going to suggest this to you. The Longrow 18-year-old. A bit of a unicorn, I imagine, in some places. Better in a lot of ways. 46%, non-chill filtered, no colour added. Very natural, as we know, as we expect from Springbank. But why I picked that, yet again, it's that experience, it's that age. It's what 18 years in selected casks can bring to a whiskey. So there was no point in me, I think anyway, offering up something that's young and nicely peated, etc. I'm sure there's whiskies out there that would have done it, but for me, this was the thing about the Longrow 18. From day one, it was just that gentle build up to everything. It's that great flow and softness, and just so for me, it had to be something like that. Of the two of these, which would I prefer? Well, you know me in Springbank, actually I would prefer the Longrow, but that's not to take it away. They're different peated whiskies. They are, but just both done in the right way, in my opinion. So if you've had Caol Ila 18, you really enjoyed it, if you can get your hands on a bottle of Longrow, if Longrow 18, well then, yes, definitely. The standard Longrow, younger, much bolder, yet again, all those phenolic notes are so much stronger, so much bolder. This here is just toned down and balanced over time. Whew! Almost sounded like I knew what I was talking about there. Great stuff, great stuff, great start to this series. So look, I'll leave it there. I'll say thank you very much for joining me, as always very, very much appreciate it. Thank you very, very much to my patrons. Always very, very much appreciate it, as usual. If you wish to join that Patreon group, the details are in the video description below. You would think I had been drinking more than this. I haven't. Just pleased with it. Yeah, lovely stuff. I'll leave it there and say thank you very much for joining me. Till the next time, my friends, here's your good health. Cheers. Hey, thanks for watching my video. Please click and subscribe to be notified of further content.